The village of Nata had always been peaceful. Children played by the river, while elders shared stories under the shade of the mighty baobab tree. But one evening, the peace was shattered when Kofi, the chief's son, mysteriously disappeared. His mother wailed, and his father, Chief Kwame, rallied the villagers to search the woods, but they found no trace of the boy. Whispers filled the village. Could it be the work of the masked kidnapper? The villagers asked. The story of the masked kidnapper was an old legend, passed down through generations. It was said that long ago, a masked figure would take children from their homes, never to be seen again. The fear of the unknown gripped the village. It was not just Kofi's disappearance. Several children had gone missing in recent months. Panic spread, and the village became a shadow of its former self. But one brave soul, a 6-year-old girl named Ayo, refused to let fear control her. She vowed to find Kofi and uncover the truth behind the masked kidnapper. Ayo had always been different from the other villagers. While others preferred the safety of the village, Ayo was curious about the mysteries that lay beyond the forest. She was known for her quick thinking and bravery, traits that made her stand out. When Chief Kwame announced that anyone brave enough to find Kofi would be rewarded, Ayo didn't hesitate. "I'll go," she declared, stepping forward in the village square. The crowd gasped. How could a young girl face the dangers of the forest, where even seasoned hunters had failed? Chief Kwame hesitated. "Are you sure, Ayo? This journey will not be easy. The forest is full of dangers, and the masked kidnapper is no ordinary foe." Ayo nodded confidently. "I'm not afraid. Kofi is like a brother to me. I will bring him back." With her determination clear, Ayo began preparing for her journey. She gathered supplies and said her goodbyes, knowing she might not return. The villagers watched her leave, their hope resting on her shoulders. The forest surrounding Nata was dense and mysterious. Tall trees blocked out the sun, casting long shadows on the forest floor. Ayo had ventured into the woods before, but never this far. Each step she took was filled with uncertainty. Birds chirped overhead, and the occasional rustling of leaves made her heart race. Ayo knew the stories of the masked kidnapper well. He was said to live deep within the forest, in a place where no one dared to go. But Ayo had no choice. If Kofi was to be found, she would need to face her fears and continue deeper into the unknown. As she walked, she kept an eye out for any clues. Her senses were sharp, and every little detail caught her attention. Suddenly, something caught her eye. A small piece of torn cloth snagged on a branch. It was Kofi's shirt. Her heart raced with hope. She was on the right path. But the deeper she went, the darker the forest became. And with each step, the feeling that something, or someone, was watching her grew stronger. Night had fallen by the time Ayo reached a small clearing. The moonlight cast eerie shadows, making the trees look like twisted figures. As she rested, she heard a rustling in the bushes. Instantly, she was on high alert. Was it an animal, or was it the masked kidnapper? From the darkness, a tall figure emerged. He wore a wooden mask, intricately carved with strange symbols. His eyes, though hidden, seemed to pierce through Ayo's very soul. It was him, the masked kidnapper. Ayo stood her ground, her heart pounding in her chest. "Where is Kofi?" she demanded. The masked kidnapper said nothing at first, merely watching her. Then, in a deep voice, he spoke. "Why do you seek him?" "I will not leave until I find him," Ayo replied firmly. The masked kidnapper tilted his head as if amused. "Bravery is a dangerous trait, but you will not find what you seek here." With that, the figure vanished into the shadows, leaving Ayo with more questions than answers. Ayo knew that turning back now was not an option. She followed the path deeper into the forest, determined to find more clues. The masked kidnapper's presence had only fueled her desire to uncover the truth. She wondered why he hadn't harmed her. Was there more to this mysterious figure than the stories told? As she ventured further, she came across a cave, its entrance hidden behind thick vines. She hesitated for a moment, then pushed the vines aside and entered. Inside, the air was damp, and the walls were covered in strange carvings. The symbols reminded her of the ones on the Masked Kidnapper's mask. In the corner of the cave, she found something that made her heart skip a beat. A small woven bracelet. It was Kofi's. She clutched it tightly, her determination growing stronger. She was close, but the danger was far from over. Ayo knew that the Masked Kidnapper was watching her every move, but she was ready for whatever came next. As Ayo explored the cave, she felt a presence behind her. Turning around, she found herself face to face with the Masked Kidnapper once again. But this time, he did not vanish. Instead, he spoke. "You are persistent, young one. But persistence can lead to destruction." Ayo took a step forward, her eyes blazing with determination. "Why do you take our children? What do you want?" The Masked Kidnapper was silent for a long moment. Then, with a deep sigh, he removed his mask, revealing a face full of sorrow and pain. "My name is Kunto," he said. "I was once part of this village, but long ago I was betrayed by those I loved. They cast me out, and I was cursed to live in the forest, never to return." Ayo was shocked. This was not the story she had heard. Kunto continued, "I take the children to protect them from the same betrayal I suffered. I give them a new life, far from the pain of the village." But Ayo knew that taking the children was not the answer. Ayo looked into Kunto's eyes and saw the pain he carried. She realized that he wasn't a monster. He was a man broken by the betrayal of those he once trusted. But his actions were causing more harm than good. "Kunto," Ayo said softly, "you don't have to do this. The village may have hurt you, but taking the children will only create more pain. You can return with me. We can help you." Kunto shook his head, his eyes filled with sorrow. "I can't return. The curse will not allow it." Ayo stepped closer. Curses are only as strong as the belief behind them. If you seek forgiveness, the village will welcome you back. For a moment, Kunto seemed to consider her words, but then he turned away, as if afraid of what might happen if he allowed himself to hope. "I cannot risk it," he whispered. Despite Kunto's hesitation, Ayo refused to give up. She knew that deep down, Kunto wanted to be free of the curse, but his fear was holding him back. She decided to prove that forgiveness was possible. "Come with me," she urged. "Let's return to the village together. The people will forgive you, just as they forgave others in the past." Kunto looked at her, uncertainty in his eyes. "And if they do not?" "They will," Ayo said confidently, "because forgiveness is the foundation of our culture. We believe in second chances." Kunto hesitated, but finally he nodded. "Very well," he said. "I will come with you, but if they turn me away, I will never return." With that, they began their journey back to the village, both knowing that the outcome would change their lives forever. When Ayo and Kunto arrived at the village, the people were shocked. Whispers filled the air as they saw the Masked Kidnapper standing beside Ayo. Chief Kwame stepped forward, his face a mixture of anger and confusion. "Ayo, what is the meaning of this?" he demanded. Ayo took a deep breath and explained everything. She told the villagers about Kunto's past, the curse, and his reasons for taking the children. She pleaded with them to show compassion and forgive him, just as their ancestors had forgiven others. At first, the villagers were unsure, but then Kofi stepped forward, his eyes filled with tears. "He didn't hurt me," Kofi said. "He protected me." Chief Kwame looked at his son, then at Kunto. Slowly, he nodded. "If my son can forgive, so can I." One by one, the villagers stepped forward, offering their forgiveness. Kunto, overwhelmed with emotion, removed his mask and bowed his head in gratitude. The curse was broken. Kunto was welcomed back into the village, and the children were returned to their families. The village of Nata, once divided by fear and mistrust, was now united by compassion and forgiveness. Ayo was hailed as a hero, not for her bravery in facing the masked kidnapper, but for her ability to see the humanity in him. She had taught the village an important lesson, that forgiveness and understanding could heal even the deepest wounds. Kunto, now free from the curse, became an important member of the village once again. He helped the children learn about the forest and its secrets, sharing his knowledge and wisdom with them. As for Ayo, she continued to explore the mysteries of the world, knowing that there would always be more to discover. But she never forgot the lesson she had learned in the forest, that sometimes the greatest battles are fought not with weapons, but with the heart.